The clarity of aging. 9 life lessons that emerge after 70. As we journey through life, there's an ironic truth that becomes evident only in our later years. Clarity often arrives too late. In youth and middle age, we chase after dreams, ambitions, and societal expectations, often unaware that these pursuits may not bring the fulfillment we envision. As a seasoned psychologist with decades of experience studying the human mind and behavior, I have witnessed countless individuals reflect on their lives with a mixture of pride, regret, and revelation. Today, I want to share 9 profound realizations that often emerge after the age of 70, lessons that, if understood earlier, could fundamentally reshape how we live. Imagine a man in his 70s, sitting alone in his grand living room. The walls are adorned with certificates and accolades, yet the room feels empty. The house is silent, filled with echoes of past conversations and laughter that have long since faded. It's in moments like these that the profound truths of life emerge, truths about status, health, time, and relationships. This article explores these realizations, aiming to offer insights not just for those who have crossed the threshold of 70, but for anyone seeking a deeper, more meaningful life. The mirage of status. Throughout life, many people fall into the trap of pursuing status, titles, accolades, and social recognition as markers of success. This chase can consume decades, driven by the belief that reaching a certain level of prestige will bring lasting happiness. However, by the time one reaches 70, a shift occurs. Retirement often strips away professional identities, and the world moves on to celebrate the next generation. The titles that once commanded respect lose their significance, leaving many to wonder if the pursuit was ever truly worthwhile. What remains? Relationships. The connections forged along the way, family, friends, and genuine human interactions, prove to be the real treasures. Status is fleeting, but the impact we have on others endures. Real-life story. Consider John, a successful CEO who spent his life climbing the corporate ladder. In retirement, he found himself isolated, realizing that the colleagues he thought were friends were merely professional acquaintances. It was only through reconnecting with old friends and family that he rediscovered genuine happiness. Psychological insight. Research shows that social bonds are critical to emotional well-being, especially in later life. A study by Harvard University, the Grant Study, has followed individuals for over 75 years, consistently finding that relationships, not wealth or fame, are the most significant predictor of happiness. The tyranny of others' opinions. From childhood, we're conditioned to seek approval from parents, teachers, peers, and eventually society at large. This need for validation can dictate life choices, often leading individuals to live according to others' expectations rather than their own desires. By 70, many realize the absurdity of this lifelong performance. The opinions they once feared no longer hold power, and they come to understand a liberating truth. Most people were too absorbed in their own struggles to scrutinize them closely. Real-life story. Susan spent decades trying to meet her family's expectations, choosing a career she didn't love. In her 70s, she finally pursued her passion for painting, finding immense joy and fulfillment. Psychological insight. Social comparison theory, introduced by Leon Festinger, explains how individuals evaluate themselves based on comparisons with others. While this can motivate improvement, it also fosters unnecessary anxiety and feelings of inadequacy. The poison of resentment. Holding grudges often feels justified in the moment, providing a false sense of control over emotional pain. Yet, as people age, the weight of long-held resentments becomes more apparent. At 70, many recognize that the people they resented have either changed, moved on, or disappeared from their lives entirely. The energy spent harboring anger only served to prolong personal suffering. Real-life story. Michael carried resentment towards his brother for decades over a family dispute. It wasn't until he reconnected with his brother in his later years that he realized how much happier and lighter he felt after letting go of the bitterness. Psychological insight. Studies on forgiveness highlight its profound benefits for mental health. including reduced anxiety, depression, and stress. Forgiveness isn't about condoning harm but about freeing oneself from the emotional chains of resentment. The futility of materialism. The pursuit of material possessions is deeply ingrained in many cultures, equating success with ownership, big houses, luxury cars, the latest gadgets. Yet, by 70, a sobering realization often sets in. These possessions lose their meaning. The large house feels empty. The once prized items gather dust, and the excitement of acquiring fades. What endures are the memories created, the experiences shared, and the lives touched. Real life story. Linda spent her life collecting expensive jewelry and art. In her later years, she found more joy in donating her collection to museums and charities, knowing it would be appreciated by others. Psychological insight. The concept of hedonic adaptation explains why the happiness gained from new possessions is short-lived. Over time, people return to a baseline level of happiness, regardless of material gains. The illusion of perfection. Perfectionism can be paralyzing, causing individuals to delay actions, fearing failure or imperfection. Throughout life, many wait for the perfect moment, only to realize, too late, that it never comes. At 70, it becomes clear that life was never meant to be flawless. The most meaningful moments often arise from embracing imperfection and taking risks. Real life story. Tom always dreamed of writing a novel but feared it wouldn't be good enough. In his 70s, he finally wrote and self-published his book, finding immense pride and satisfaction in completing a lifelong goal. Psychological insight. Research links perfectionism to higher rates of anxiety, depression, and burnout. Letting go of this unrealistic standard can lead to a more fulfilling and authentic life. The silence that divides. Avoiding difficult conversations feels easier in the short term, but over time, unspoken truths create distance and misunderstanding. Many seniors look back with regret over the words left unsaid, the apologies never made, the boundaries never set. By 70, it's clear that honest communication, though uncomfortable, is essential for deep and meaningful relationships. Real life story. Mary regretted not reconciling with her estranged daughter for years. When she finally reached out, they rebuilt their relationship, creating precious memories together before it was too late. Psychological insight. Studies in communication psychology reveal that open and honest dialogue strengthens relationships and reduces conflict over time, fostering deeper connections and trust. The illusion of endless time. Youth often brings a sense of invincibility and the belief that there's always more time to chase dreams, mend relationships, or start anew. But as the years pass, the reality of life's brevity becomes undeniable. At 70, many confront the painful truth that time is not infinite. Opportunities missed, words unspoken, and dreams deferred weigh heavily. Real life story. Robert always wanted to travel the world but kept postponing it due to work. In his 70s, he finally embarked on his dream journey, realizing how much he had missed by waiting. Psychological insight. The concept of temporal discounting explains why people often prioritize immediate rewards over long-term benefits, leading to procrastination and missed opportunities. The neglect of health. In the rush of life, health often takes a backseat to ambition and responsibility. People sacrifice sleep, ignore symptoms, and delay self-care, assuming there will be time to make up for it later. By 70, the consequences of neglect become inescapable. Physical limitations, chronic illnesses, and decreased vitality highlight the importance of prioritizing health early on. Real life story. Barbara ignored her health for years, focusing on her career. In her 70s, she adopted a healthier lifestyle, improving her quality of life and inspiring others to do the same. Medical insight. Preventive healthcare, regular exercise, and balanced nutrition are crucial for longevity and quality of life. Studies consistently show that lifestyle choices significantly impact aging and overall health. The fragility of relationships. We often take our closest relationships for granted, assuming there will always be time to reconnect or make amends. Yet, by 70, many people realize that those they loved most may no longer be around. The pain of missed opportunities for connection becomes one of the deepest regrets. Success and possessions pale in comparison to the richness of shared moments with loved ones. Real-life story. Helen lost her husband unexpectedly and regretted not spending more quality time together. She now cherishes every moment with her children and grandchildren, understanding the value of presence. Psychological insight. Attachment theory underscores the profound impact of close relationships on emotional well-being. Strong social connections are linked to lower rates of depression and increased longevity. The journey to 70 often brings with it a clarity that was elusive in earlier years. The lessons learned about status, opinions, resentment, materialism, perfection, communication, time, health, and relationships offer a roadmap for living more intentionally. As a psychologist, I've seen the transformative power of these realizations. My hope is that by sharing them, more people will find the courage to live authentically, prioritize what truly matters, and embrace the present with gratitude and purpose. Because in the end, it's not about how long we live, but how deeply we experience the moments we have.